Hello everyone, Richard here for a replay of Streets of Moscow Ultimate Mode. What you are about to see here is, I don't even know how to describe it. This is like God tier level strategy. Um, I'm hoping I find a chance to live play this map because I don't know how robust this is. I think it's really robust, but I did have a lot. You're going to see that I had a lot of turns. I farmed this map essentially, um, but I had a lot of really good weather. So, and I'll explain how I tricked the AI into giving me good weather. So there's a lot of things I did on this map to make it manageable. The first thing that you should note is that the first counterattack group doesn't trigger until you take this. The complication to that is they are set to attack, so if they see something to attack, they will activate. Now, you can use this to your advantage if you really know what you're doing. Like, I imagine once I show Soren should watch this, because I'm going to break the Streets of Moscow map in such a way that you're easily going to you can easily map wipe this on Manstein. Yeah, like I think you can easily map wipe this on Manstein if you use these ideas, assuming the weather isn't garbage. So with that in mind, I delay taking this hex. After the armor sees some things that they can reach, they activate, and then I clean up the armor, and then I'm like, well, I might as well seize this hex because there's no armor, so a lot of the dangerous units are simply gone. So that's something you should know. Don't take these hexes until the final turn. Why is that? Because this attack group doesn't activate until one of these hexes is occupied. However, sometimes I think there's like a really fast tank and they see something when I'm approaching up here, and then they try to attack. And you're going to see me abuse the hell out of that. So that's something to keep in mind. So all the heavy equipment over here doesn't activate the entire time, and it frees up my forces knowing that this side is safe to just punch through Moscow. I utterly trash this region, and I'll get into how I did that in a second. Third thing you should know about triggers. If you take this hex, this group activates. Now, it's actually not really a huge problem to take this early. I just didn't find the time because I was constantly dealing with annoying units, and I had other things I was doing. It's better for you if you get this really fast, I think. But I'm going to show you something I did that was super abusive that completely crushed this counterattack before it got started. The counterattack was down to 3 units by the time it started. So we're going to get into how did I abuse this map. There's a couple of things you should know. This cavalry does not reinforce. So the first thing I did is after I cleaned up the Air Force, Kittel and Lent basically rotate and damage this cavalry, which is really good because they both have nice attack heroes. And attack bonuses on fighters are useful for this purpose. And Lent actually has an attack plus 3 hero. It is not necessary at all for Lent to have an attack plus 3. You absolutely can do the same strategy. Lent is going to do a decent amount of damage anyway, especially against cavalry. So you wipe this unit out, and then the other trick you can do is you send your scout on this side, and the scout takes the city, and make sure you have enough movement to, after you kill the cavalry, you move up 2 away. Then the next turn you take this and you back off on the road because a tank is going to show up and take this, but you're going to be out of vision range. So why would you want that to happen? Well, it just is another excuse to pull units away from this anti-aircraft gun. So you can start bombing this with Rudel and other tactical bombers. I think the way I set it up is I damaged the BT tank, so a T-34 showed up, which the one that was closest to the anti-aircraft. That was really good for me because now the armor is at my mercy. So this is, I would say, optimized, and it's pretty much impossible to do better. You just have to remember all those little details I said. So that's solved. It's pretty much a costless way to get that capturable unit. There's some things I did with my scout long before I sent him over here, because the scout actually does an incredibly amount of useful things that I don't remember all of them, but you'll see it in the replay. One thing is he helps take out this artillery piece, and I think he gets a tank forward to attack it. So that's that capturable unit. So then the question is, well, how do you get this capturable unit if this force never activates? Why, I am glad that you asked, because I have an ingenious way of doing it. One might say a Machiavellian manipulation here. So the trick is, after I clear out the support, which is basically the artillery and the anti-aircraft, I refuel Rudel, and I refuel my two fighters that are not Kittle. And then these two together will strike this way. They'll take a pit stop at the Kremlin. And then what happens is I offer Rudel right here. Yes, this is the exact hex, 22-5. It's a forest hex. You're probably going, what are you doing? So there's a fighter right here who sees Rudel, and I'll make sure that there's fighters next to him. So even if the fighter activates, it'll just go very poorly. What happens is the fighters are tied to this attack group, but not the anti-aircraft gun. The anti-aircraft gun knows that there's Rudel here to attack, so it does the only thing that makes sense. It comes out of its entrenchment, and it attacks Rudel. And you actually got a pretty good chance that this is not going to damage Rudel. But even if it does, this is totally worth it anyway. You're probably going, okay, how are you planning on dealing with this mess? Don't worry, I fly my movement +1 paratrooper up north. You do not need a movement +1 paratrooper at all. I just had nothing better to do with that unit, and it would be convenient to have it in the north. He's going to drop back here, which is really safe. He's going to get really close. It doesn't really matter. You can just be somewhere in this area. The anti-aircraft gun moves last, so you can actually be here and it's perfectly fine because nothing will attack him. So he comes out of his entrenchment, so he'll only be at like 1 entrenchment, maybe 0 after doing that. So you don't have to worry about rugged defense. So then it is protected by a fighter, but I have 2 fighters with me. The fighters go up here and they wipe out this fighter. You have to kill the fighter, though. This is extremely important. I have max overstrength on my fighters. Bear is with me, so it's pretty likely you may have to reload if you don't kill it, but you have to kill it. You have no choice. The odds are pretty good that you will kill it. Okay, after you kill it, then you send your paratroopers right here and park Rudel over him. You hit you hit this anti-aircraft gun with your paratroopers first. It's highly unlikely you're going to push it back. I would be shocked. You could actually position your fighters in such a way that Rudel could go over it. If you have an attack hero paratrooper, this would work even better. Now that I think about it, I did have an attack hero paratrooper. I probably should have used him for this. And you hit him, and you're going to do a lot of damage. It has no entrenchment, and it's a soft target. And then, after it's damaged, fly Rudel over him, and then you're going to one-shot this unit. If it's cloudy, it gets a little iffy. But I think I had a clear day. So that's another little hitch. You need a clear day when you do this. And I'll explain how you can rig it so that's true. So then you take it out. So the only thing the enemy sees are my fighters, which there's no anti-aircraft gun left. They don't see my paratrooper, and this is an empty hex. Perfect. So then, the next turn, I fly my 2 fighters up here, and I take out the bomber. If you don't take out the bomber, you can wait. It's very important that you take out the bomber. You're probably going to take out the bomber, though. I mean, maybe not. I mean, it's 15 strength. It's probably less likely to take out the bomber than the fighter. I think it has higher air defense or something. but you're probably going to take it out. But if you don't, you actually don't have to reload. You can wait. If once you take it out, then you seize this with your paratrooper, and it looks like your fighters are out of fuel or whatever, but you're not, because you have an airfield now, which is super abusive. This is abusive in the extreme. You fly these fighters out there where there's no airfield, and it looks like they're going to run out of fuel, but they're really not. So then you seize the airfield, and then after the enemy's turn, they don't see anything. This is a super important point. The airfield does not cause the enemy to want to retake it, but they do want to retake this one. I think it has to do with cities versus airfields. I'm not sure. So then, after you get your KV and your paratrooper, you're not done. They have more stuff to do. These guys are going to flood over here to help Oladir on this objective. Oladir helps out in this region, and then at a certain point, I just rush them north because I want to make sure I'm attached to this hex. And the KV is going to plant himself right here, and he is going to keep attacking this artillery piece. And you want to do that so that way you can punch up into the north and just kill everything. And if there's no artillery, it's really easy to clean this up. So there's how you get both capturable units, no cost. After I clean up this counterattack, I leave a few units left behind, and we take this stuff. I think I even get this airfield, which is really nice. I send my paratrooper... No, my scout eventually gets... No, the T-34 captures that city. And it's fine. There's nothing out here. So I even get that city. The only thing I didn't capture was this airfield and this hex. But this is occupied, and I didn't have the resources to take this. On Manstein, I think you can map wipe this actually pretty easily with this strategy. And my tactical bombers basically rotate until we kill these two tanks and the Katusha rocket. I think I do the Katusha rocket first and then these two tanks. And then you have all day to essentially clean up the map. And basically the improvements to the strategy, there's not many. It's pretty much all tactical improvements. I did all of this. There's like 102 units on this map, and I wiped out, I think, 88 of them. Which is utterly ridiculous. You know, I wiped out essentially, 88% of the units on ultimate difficulty. And the RNG is significantly reduced with another trick that I will talk about now. So you're not going to get a decisive if you get a bunch of terrible weather. That's going to be true on Rommel, Manstein, Guderian, any setting. What you can do is the first 3 turns are fixed. So keep this in mind. The first 2 turns are always clear, and the third turn is always snow. And there's a pretty good chance the fourth turn is snow as well. I actually prepared my strategy with that in mind, but I got really lucky and had a clear day on turn 4. But it is absolutely not necessary. Turn 4 is when I'm migrating my planes over here to prepare to bomb the Kremlin. Because I'm gonna get into how I did that as well. But before that, if you really need a clear weather day, the day after tomorrow, replay the Allies' turn, and it resets the seed on the weather, and you can keep doing that until you get the weather that you need, which is primarily clear. And that helps reduce the RNG of the weather, which is pretty brutal. I think I had only one snow day maybe because of that, and I had some cloudy days, but not that many. So with clear weather, it gives you the ability to mop up the armor ahead of time. And a lot of times, it doesn't take that many reloads on the Allies' turn to make it happen. Clear weather is not unlikely. It's just mixed in there with snow and cloudy. But you don't necessarily need clear all the time. I think you can do the same strategy with cloudy. It's slightly less efficient. What you really need is not snow. So I think you can have a couple of snow days. Actually, you could probably have like 3 more snow days and still do the same thing. It's just riskier, I suppose. I did all of that, and I only took 315 prestige damage. I think if Soren were to do this, he could probably get it to under 100, if not like 0 damage to his units, as crazy as that sounds. But I think that he's going to want to watch this video because he's going to see how to break the map on Manstein. And it's going to be surprisingly easy. So, let it begin. So I wanted to just cover all those strategic ideas. Tactically, I have 4 range +1 artillery and 3 movement +1 artillery and a bunch of attack hero artillery. I have 3 17 centimeters, 2 naval warfers, 2 Warframen, and 4 10.5 centimeter. I have all my tactical bombers and 3 fighters. And I'm very light on tanks. I think I have 3 tanks. I have 2 88 guns, a towed anti-tank, and a Panzerjäger. And my towed anti-tank absolutely wrecks things on this map. And he gets rewarded for it, as you'll see. So, there's like 28 armored units on this map, and I think I killed 24 of them. Which is unbelievable how many armored units I killed. So that's my towed anti-tank kicking ass. Some of the stuff you're seeing here has been done by people before. This is not new. I either got this from Idleclease or Soren, I don't remember. So the Panzerjäger takes care of that. And I have my 17 centimeters over here helping with the... that's Rudel. Put Rudel in the T-34. So you wipe out those 2 tanks, which cripples their ability to respond. And I can start working on the infantry there. I'm setting a trap. The fortress sees the naval warfare, and I think a bomber attacks there. Next, I'm going to pound the hell out of that fort because it needs to die. And then I'm going to go after this T-34. That's my attack +3 grenadier. And then that's Oladir. You need Oladir to clean that up. He's about the only unit that can do it. Oh, and then I set another trap. The naval warfares are seen, and I put my 88 gun there. And then I'm trapping a tank on the scout. And I'm flying my paratroopers north. If I put my 88 gun in a better place, that would have been a double tap. See, a 17 centimeter gun does a lot of suppression. Here comes Kittle. Now the fighter is done. And that's all you really have to worry about for the Air Force for a long time. I do end up killing all of the Air Force. And now my goal is to kill those 2 tanks. And I have a towed anti-tank to clean that up if necessary. And a tactical bomber. But then my artillery just crushed that tank. Now I need to get rid of that fort. Got a really good hit. And I can use Oladir, I think, to take this one out. That's Rudel again. Slowly moving north. And he was totally suppressed, so I sent my mountain unit up. The overstrength really makes a difference, by the way. Don't underestimate it. And then, yep, I sent Oladir to clean that up. Yeah, Oladir cleaning things up. I'm trying to kill that infantry unit so my tank can sneak in the back. So it took all of my artillery. Boom! So the support is crippled here. This is a lot that I'm getting done in turn 2. You might make an argument I didn't have enough infantry down there, but my goal is to push the infantry up the middle as fast as possible. So I could have been delayed here a little bit and it would have been okay. But I had a lot of artillery, so... And it was just conscripts. I think that's my defense +4 mountain unit, so... And that's my initiative +1 grenadier. And then my scout's like, maybe I'll clean that up. It's snowing, so I'm beginning to migrate my planes to this airfield, which is really important to my strategy. You have to upgrade your tactical bombers to the latest version so you get lots of fuel. Don't forget that, too. It would be completely impossible if we had the base tactical bombers. So even in snow, I can make pretty good progress here. Just completely vaporizing them. Mercilessly advancing. That's Rondorf. I'm constantly farming kills with him because he needs the experience. He's a very busy man, this battle. I think that's Wernsberger. Oh yeah, I'm getting really aggressive here. I want to kill that. Very risky, but it's worth it because I'm trying to collapse them quickly. They won't activate because a major objective hasn't been seized. Well, actually, they're not activating because there's nothing to attack. I'm exploiting the bad weather here. And range +1, look at that. That's my defense +4 mountain unit again. He absolutely is kicking ass. And I was projected to have snow, but I got really lucky and got clear weather. That's why I want to try a live play of this, because I'm curious if I have a more normal distribution of weather, will this work? Because there's a lot of things that have to go right. And now the Panzerjäger is a beautiful target. But backed up by a Wolframen, so... And I can farm with the Toad anti-tank. There's so many good targets over here. Look at all this artillery. I have 12 artillery pieces. I brought all but one of my infantry. So I have 9 infantry. And only 3 tanks. I only brought Rondorf because he needs the experience. So on turn 4, I'm already de-entrenching the cavalry. It might be turn 5 if you have bad weather turn 4. Oh, and I'm also taking out that artillery piece. With this nifty trick, tactical bomber scout combo. And movement +1 on naval warfare is amazing for city battles because I can move around very flexibly. Now, the trick here is you have to pull the scout south. Or actually out of vision range or south, because a T-34 will show up and hit him otherwise. So those guys will activate if they can reach you and they see something. Losing the overstrength on the Panzerjäger just doesn't matter because he's going to get upgraded soon anyway. Oh, there's Oladir again. And Wernsberger. Those two were devastating in this battle. I'm sure that both of them got like 100-something kills. So I'm bringing Rudel back because I have to refuel him. So with the artillery piece taken out, that position is very weak later. Look at this gross artillery. Toad anti-tank against a suppressed fortress will do a lot of damage. Especially with overstrength. Just keep killing. This is abusive. So much artillery. Look at that anti-tank. My god. That's regular types of hits, too. That's not like crazy reloading mechanics. So, because I have range +1 and I'm bringing them all towards the Kremlin, I am going to bomb the hell out of these guys. Rudel is on top of that, which is who you want. And you gotta damage that artillery piece. And you want to damage the scout. Initiative. So my fighter has an initiative +1 hero, and he got his second initiative +1 hero. He's basically Heinrich Bar 2.0. That is going to be so sick on the Eastern Front. As you can see, I put most of my soft artillery on the right because that's where you really need it. You need the hard-hitting artillery. Well, actually, you need the ranged artillery to the left. By the way, this did not break soft cap. Notice I didn't take that objective because I don't want to activate those guys yet. Now I can begin the Great Migration. Yeah, that Panzer IV is just eating stuff. That guy activated because he could see... I don't know why he activated since he couldn't reach the hex. There's some nuance to the activation mechanics I don't understand. Okay, this could be improved somehow. I don't know how, but somehow. Because I'm doing something really risky, but I think it's worth it. You'll see in a second what's going to happen. I keep farming that cavalry who will not get reinforcements. I think I'm trying to kill the scout. So all the support has disappeared. This is just gross. So the scout can't touch... Like, the scout is not capable of damaging the artillery. So here's what happens. Can I pause this? This is an accidental discovery, and I think it's really good. Kill the scout. There's a reason I did this. Kill the scout. This guy sees the scout. One of these KVs, I think it's this one, is going to show up, and he's going to try to attack the scout, not really being scared off by this artillery, but I also have a 17-centimeter gun. And I'm also in the city, which is kind of a disadvantage to the tank. So you're going to pull this tank in right under a tactical bomber, and you're going to be able to dispatch it, essentially. What the only problem with this is that this tank also activates and goes after my Panzer IV, as you'll see. So my Panzer IV basically gets taken out of action. But it's absolutely worth it if you pull those guys towards you. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I just didn't find it. So these two tanks came forward, which is really convenient because I can just kill them. Then I got my final artillery piece, got an attack +3 hero, which is nice. I got a lot of great heroes this battle. So that tank, I don't really know why the tank moved. Oh, the T-34 came out to play, that's right. And that went kind of poorly for the T-34. So I ran out of artillery, that did not help my Panzer IV. And then I got blasted with... Yeah, it was just... My Panzer IV is in danger, but I've pulled all these tanks forward. It's okay. So I think I've had nothing but clear days since turn 4. So now my scout's done, and he's going to begin the migration to the north for the little stunt that I'm going to pull. That worked out way better than I thought it would. This was not a part of the plan. I didn't realize... I don't know what was triggering them to activate, because I haven't taken the hex, but since they had activated, I decided... Well, they had only partially activated. It's very strange. So what I decided to do was just take the hex because the armor was gone. I wanted to kill that T-34, so I had to make that attack. With the armor crippled, this counterattack is not dangerous at all. Yeah, my poor Panzer IV taking a beating. Here's the little trick that's coming up. Boom! That's Rudel going north, and I'm going to pull out the anti-aircraft gun. Just nasty, man. And I'm going to vaporize that infantry. You can take that hex, and it's not a problem. That's Oladir beginning the process of going north. My Panzer III is just looking to start outflanking as well. It's good to have him out there to kind of guard against rogue tanks, is what I like to call them. Sometimes tanks just show up, and it's annoying. Here comes the trick. Losing the overstrength on that paratrooper doesn't matter because I'm upgrading him to a pioneer. That's the reason I brought him, so he could afford to lose his overstrength. And now I'm going to force a surrender on that. I thought... What am I doing? Yes, okay. Ah, I see. That's what I was doing. That's why I put the Panzer III up there, so I could really sneak in the back. Okay. This artillery barrage is disgusting. And oh yeah, and then the anti-tank, oh, I'm just evil. So the anti-tank goes into the city hex. Oh, that's brutal. Notice that I won't take the Kremlin. So I have so much artillery dedicated to one hex. Soren would be proud of me. It's safe to do this because I haven't taken the Kremlin, so that second counterattack group isn't activated. Okay, so I killed the cavalry turn 10. So now Kittle will start farming the Katyusha rocket. And my scout continues to go north. Yeah, I was surprised that my Katyusha, or my Krochitsin wasn't attacked. So in record-setting pace, I seized the airfield on turn 11. That's got to be world record pace. That is insane. Look at my God, that anti-tank is seriously impressing me. If you use him in the right way, he will crush the enemy. This little part here could be improved. Soren will find a way to do that better when he gets here. The soft targets though, those wolf ramen, they just eat them alive. I'm trying to kill them to hide what's going on. Oh my god, and Helmet Lens is just eating stuff up. It's illegal what I'm doing to the enemy here. I'm making sure, sometimes they activate if they see something, and I'm just making sure nothing bad happens. I'm making sure they can't see me. They can see Rondorf, but that's fine. You can see that I overstrengthened my artillery to the max. That was Rudel helping out. So I'm on turn 11 and I'm already hitting that next objective. Here is the moment. I have never seen anyone play with a Toad anti-tank that had a movement +1 hero. I think that a Toad anti-tank with a movement +1 hero is going to be insane. By 42 or 43, I think that is going to make the anti-tank completely out of control. We'll see if I'm right about that. So this was absolutely worth it just for that. It's like having a new tool to play with. Look at that, I'm already using it. I could seize that objective. I probably got over 100 kills on my Toad anti-tank this battle. Because he just wrecked a bunch of units. So you can see I'm bombing this ahead of time because I want to kill it before I seize that objective. Oladir joins up with everybody else. This is max efficiency right here. So by the end of turn 12, the way to the final two... Really, the way to the final three objectives is there. That's really early. But it was helped by the fact that I had a lot of clear weather. Which I rigged. So that KV is perfect for attacking the artillery, which is good. Just so you know, that KV doesn't come out to attack your tank, so this little maneuver is really good because you can cripple that artillery. I think we have our first cloudy day. And the Lent helps clean up. I seize it and then I back off. So what's going to happen is that T-34 is going to come forward and take it back. I still have a guards in this region, so I decided to try to do something about that. And that was an ambush. That really, like, surprised me. I forgot, though, that they see that there's stuff to attack around the Kremlin. They don't see all the stuff around the Kremlin. So there's a T-34 that got taken out. So already this counterattack is very weak. So I can now take that airfield. I have the luxury of doing this. Look at all this artillery. Oh my god, this is so much artillery. Rocket artillery is so powerful. And with range +1, I can start de-entrenching ahead of time. It's turn like 14 and I'm assaulting that district. That's like record-setting pace. Oh, did you just get ambushed? Right into a 17-centimeter gun. They didn't see the rocket artillery. This is just more evidence that Wolf Ramen and rocket artillery are so overpowered. It's nuts. But I think that when you're playing on ultimate mode and you want to do it seriously, you got to bring the best equipment. And I did not bring soft cap, which is very interesting. I'm probably breaking soft cap in 42. I mean, look at this. Turn 15, that district goes down. That is crazy speed. And that KV is perfect for this artillery killing position. So I need to damage that KV. And then I made a mistake here. I should have put that infantry there where my tank is, and I should have left my tank where it was, and I would have had the 17-centimeter gun on him. Oh, I did have a 17-centimeter, but the tank attacked. I was really surprised. But I didn't need to invite that attack. So, yeah, I'm going to boot him out now. He's suppressed. Kittle finished him off. Look at all of the support just evaporating. I'm still waiting because I want to activate that counterattack group and then seize the objective. So I took it on turn 17, okay. I'm now going after the backup units. Ugh. And then my paratrooper snuck around so I could deliver another devastating blow. It's very safe to do this because there's no infantry around that can attack him. And now it's safe for my Panzerjäger to come up. If you ask me, I think 3 tanks are all you need for Streets of Moscow. I mean, I brought 4 anti-tank guns with me, and they all were used heavily. And then the anti-tank attacked my Panzerjäger and walked into rocket artillery. Oh man. I even have time to go after this other airfield. It's crazy. But I had almost perfect weather. That makes a big difference. I do think that some bad weather, this strategy will work. I'm running out of targets for my Air Force. How is that even possible on this map? This is how it's possible. I forgot that the fighter activates if I seize that objective. So I even took out the last of the Air Force on the final turn. That was nice. And I killed the anti-aircraft gun. Damn. And then watch my anti-tank deliver another big blow. I even got that hex, which was nice. What do you guys think? Was 6 artillery a little excessive? I even get a nice little cheap shot. The damage is not done. The AI walks into that trap. So there's only like 4 units left. I probably could have killed this if I didn't grab that hex and attacked it with a T-34. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 total units left. I think there was like 102 at the start of the map. I got every objective but this one and this one. And I didn't have to deal with 4 guards and essentially like 7 guards. That's the real prize here. Avoiding 7 guards for 19 turns. I mean, these are nasty tanks, but that is wild. I might have to practice. I would like to try a live play, but man, the amount of details you have to remember. It's way less than you think, though. You just have to be aware of probing counterattacks from fast-moving tanks. So the 88 guns can serve as a screen to protect against that. And be aware that constant tanks come out this way, so set up good ambushes. But I got both capturable units, as you can see. And I have a boatload of prestige. I got every objective but 2. So I think it's going to be really, really hard for Soren to improve upon this if he tries ultimate mode, but he'll map wipe this on Manstein if he uses this strategy. So let me know what you think. I think this is very impressive, and I think strategically Streets of Moscow is solved for ultimate mode. Until next time, Richard out.